Hello. Now we're working on box plots. And a box plot is different than a dot plot, which we did in our last video. But for both of them, we need a data set. And in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 values in our data set. So that's an odd number. We're going to do one example with an odd amount of data values, and we're going to do one example with an even amount of data values. So in this case, we're going to get right to it on the box plot. You probably noticed by now that Nestor's not here for this video. It's just me. He's wiped out from doing the other two videos for today. So hopefully I can explain it well enough without him, but I doubt it, to be honest. Anyway, here we go. For a box plot, which is a little bit more complicated than a dot plot, we need 5 specific things to make it. We need the smallest number, which we'll call the minimum. We need the biggest number, which we'll call the maximum. We need the median. Those 3 things we should know how to do. Fairly simple. If you need to refresh our median, go back to the median video. And then we need some things that we haven't heard of yet. This would be our lower quartile and our upper quartile. These things sound weird, but they're actually pretty simple. So let's go through and get each of these things here. The minimum, the smallest number, is 1. The maximum, the biggest number, is 12, easy. The median, which would be the number that's in the middle, which would be 6. 6 is in the middle. I put those dots on the top instead of crossing out the numbers, just so I can reuse the numbers. So the median in this case is 6. Now we need to figure out the lower quartile and the upper quartile. So to do that, where we see the median, we draw a line right down the center. Now our data is broken up into the lower, which are these 4 numbers, and the upper. And these are the sections, these 4 numbers. So to figure out the lower quartile, we just find the median of the lower set of numbers. So the median here would be, cross out the 1, cross out the 5, 3 and 5. And if you don't know how to do this, please, again, refer back to my median video. To find the median when there's 2 numbers in the middle, you add them together, you get 8, you divide it by 2, and you get 4. So our lower quartile is 4, and our upper quartile is, add them together, you get 19, divided by 2, is 9.5. So our upper quartile is 9.5. That is all the data we need. Now we make the box plot. So I'm going to do that on one of these smaller whiteboards. First we have to make a number line. We're going from 1 to 12. So what I'm going to do is, that's that one. I'm going to start lower here. I'm not going to make numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 12. I'm just going to count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Good. Now I'm just going to plot each number, each point above that spot on the number line. You're going to see why it's called the box plot in a second. So the minimum is 1. So I put 1 dot above where 1 would be, in between 2 and the beginning, 0. You can put a 0 here. 1 is in between both of those. Maximum is 12. The median is 6. The lower quartile is 4. And the upper quartile is 9.5, which we could say is pretty close to 10. So right here. We should have 5 points on our diagram here to represent a box plot. So here's how we make the box plot and why it's called a box plot. We connect the 2 dots on the outside, and then, you guessed it, draw a box, and then draw a line right through where the median is, and boom, box plot. And that's all done. That's the final box plot. You used all 5 points. Now, let's do it again. If that's easy for you and you're good, you don't need to watch the rest. But if you want another example where we're going to do something a little different with an even amount of numbers, I recommend sticking around. So let's erase and Let's come up with an even amount of numbers here. So let's see, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11. Okay, so we have an even amount of numbers here. So we find the same amount of numbers, or the same values. The minimum, in this case, is 2. The maximum is 11. The median is an even amount of numbers, so we need to add those together. We get 9, divide by 2, and we get 4.5. So the median is 4.5. And now here's where it's different, or continues to be different. For our lower and upper quartile, remember we draw that line right through the median. So we're going to do that again. Notice how I wrote the median on here, right through. So now I have these 4 numbers and these 4 numbers. And now it's basically the same as we did before. Notice how I didn't draw the line through the numbers existing in our data set already. I drew it through the median I wrote in there. I kept the 4 and I kept the 5. I didn't remove those like we removed the median before. So now we find the lower quartile and the upper quartile. This would be 3.5. This would be 8.5. And now we'll do the same thing. Number line. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Plot my points with the red so you can see it better. Minimum is 2. Maximum is 11, which goes in between 10 and 12. Median is 4.5, which goes pretty close to 4. And the lower quartile is 3.5, which goes pretty close to 4 on the other side of it. And the upper quartile is 8.5, which is pretty close to 8. And then connect these, connect those. So notice for this one that the box is not cut right down the middle because most of our data is on this side of 5. So the box has 3 points here and 2 all the way over there. So a box plot is good for seeing general trends. We see most of our data falls here in between 3.5 and it looks like 8.5. So that's what the box represents. It's a little harder to construct than a dot plot, but it's not that challenging. And I think if you watch this video, you'll be able to figure it out. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.